Alright, we've got another desk job. This one's a museum job. We have a newer volunteer at the museum that does reenactments and stuff. And he's got a couple of these things. These are replicas of early radios, similar to the ones used in Vietnam era. I won't go into too much detail, but if you know what these look like. These apparently have UHF radios built into them, like just little handhelds. And apparently they don't come out very clear. So he wants me to have a look at them and see what I can do with them. So we'll have a crack, see what we can come up with. Alright, so I've opened these up. I've taken the top off. Straight out of the bat, I see that they're on channel 6, which is a repeater channel, usually set up in duplex. I'm probably going to push them down below that. And I wonder if they've attached the original antenna here, because that is going to be really poor SWR. So that might be why they're not working well, is the SWR is up the whack. But we'll see what we can do. I'm going to fire the other one up, see if they talk to each other. Alright, so number one problem here, this one's got no audio out for a start. I'll try the other one. Oh. This one's got an open transmitter. That might be what's going wrong with that one. The transmit button's stuck on this one. Okay. Yeah, so this one's got problems. Alright. So that is some of the issue. This is the one I'm going to look at. This one seems largely okay. But yeah, we do probably want to push the channel up above. Channels 1 through 8 and 41, 41 through 48. They're all repeater inputs. You'll end up messing with people and you won't be able to hear them when they complain. So yeah, we'll do that. But this one's got problems. You'll have to ignore the lawnmowers in the background. They're kind of busy. So I've taken this and this off, and it's just a switch here that's hot glued in the side. So that feels pretty crisp, like it's doing its job okay. So we can put that cover back on. That did feel like it was sticking, but it's behaving pretty well now. It was a little bit stuck, so alright. Okay, next thing we're going to do is pull this little lock open. See what we have in here. Alright, so they fitted this with AA's, which is good. I like that idea. However, how they've actually mounted the rest of this in looks to be it's probably been done with some hot glue. There don't appear to be screws. I might take the batteries out, see if there's a couple of screws under it. But there is still something rattling around loose in there. Some bits of paint and plastic coming out of it. So it had a bit of a hard life by the looks. There was indeed 2 screws. And there's a bit of foam here. So that's stick-on foam. But there is a gap through here. And we can start to see, it looks like they might have been twisted and taped. I hope they've been soldered. But I can now see what's loose in there. Which is an LED is loose. Okay. I don't know what the green LED is meant to be. But it does show that there's just wiring in there. That's pretty good. There's nothing special in the whole tube of it. So we might be able to take the speakers out, see what's wrong with them. It could be water damage or it could be impact looking at this. So we'll see. Silly question. Before I go around to doing everything else, they are indeed soldered, but this tape has been in here donkey's years. It's really sticky. So we might put some heat shrink on those. We might do the same with the other one when we get round to it. Alright, put some heat shrink on, and yes, before you get worried, I didn't short them out. I put heat shrink on each individual wire and then heat shrunk the two together. And don't mind the coughing of the bloke I've got on voice chat in the background. So now we're going to see if we can take these caps off, see what's going on with the speaker and microphone. We might be really fortunate here if we're lucky. Am I going to be lucky, or are these just free spinning? No, these are a fine thread. This could have easily been a coarse thread. Alright, so we have condenser mic hot glued in that one. Not unexpected. going on in this end? 3 years later. Okay, so they've actually used screws for the speaker in this one, which is nice. It will allow me to test the speaker. Okay, I'm going to clean up some of the stuff off my desk because it's starting to get junk everywhere. I wonder if this LED doesn't have a pivotal part to do with all of that. I'm pleasantly surprised to see that 2 screws gives us access to this, and these are all on connectors. One connector looks like it's been pulled very hard. This does tell me that there's possibility of that LED actually having been on here somewhere. I don't entirely know. But I can probably unplug these connectors and determine which one is speaker and which one is transmit button and all the rest. These look like these connectors have been added after the fact. And this is definitely transmit switch. So what we're going to do first is we're going to unplug transmit switch. If we can with these connectors, they can be a little bit tricky, especially when they've been bodged on, and then we'll test the switch. Right, I have a couple of test probes here. Unplug the connector, and we're going to go into this bit, turn on our test probe, and then we'll test our switch. So transmit switch looks good. Right, so this one here is clearly the speaker. Let's get a multimeter and check the resistance. Alright, let's plug into this on 20 ohm mode. Vive la resistance. No resistance on speaker. So, speaker might be blown. Which would be strange, but yeah, we'll pull this off and see what it says. I just have to say, whoever's done this mod, it's actually done a pretty reasonable job of it. It's actually somewhat serviceable. Sure, there's a bit of hot glue in places. It's nothing I probably wouldn't do. But they have used screws where it counts. And I do appreciate that. Probes are working. We should be reading about, oh, this is a 16 ohm. And we got nothing. So our speaker is blown. She no good. Alright. So at least what we can do is we can check if our cable is good. Let's check our hot wire. Actually, I use a different set of probes for that, because I have a continuity setup already attached to my desk. So let's go hot wire, which I believe is that one, and check hot wire's good. We're not shorted. Okay, let's go to that one. Okay, that's good. Now I do believe the reason I probably can't see a transmit light operating on this is probably because that's our transmit light right there. It fell out. So we know our wiring is good. Our speaker is probably not. I don't know if I've got a spare speaker. I may have to go purchase one. Okay, let's see if we can zoom in on the screen a little bit here. When I push the button, it shows that it's transmitting. I dial channel 20 up here. We don't appear to be getting any signal out, which is interesting. I'll fire the other one up and see if it works. Alright, I'm going to zoom back out again. These might be VHFs actually, and these might be the supplied antennas. Because I've got channel 20 dialed up on my UHF CB, and it's not coming through. But let's try this. We've got them both on channel 20. So that works. Let's try this one. And this is detecting a signal in. So it might be just the speaker that's knackered. So we might just have to find one of those. We should be cooking with gas. After a bit of research, it looks like these are 400 megahertz analog radios. And the flipper won't pick it up because it's looking for digital encoding. And my late brother's scanner that's up here, I haven't got an antenna or power connected to that at the second. So I can't really tell if they're coming through, but the signal is being received by either one. So I think it's just speaker. I've got to find one of them. I may have one kicking around, or I'll have to go buy one. Don't know. Alright, I extracted the speaker. Speaker indeed dead. I found this old broken radio in my collection. This actually did come from my now deceased neighbour. The BL5C battery is bulging. I've never actually seen that before. And the knob on this was broken. Alright, so this speaker is a 4 ohm. but it is quite deep. We've probably got room enough to fit it in there. So we might rip this guy out. We might put a resistor in line with it and see if it works. Although 4 ohm will probably work on those systems, no worries. Now, just as a quick check, there is hopefully enough room in here to fit it. Oh, there's loads of room. It's palatial. Okay. Let's see how we go here. Solder you on. I am shaky at the moment. Went out for a morning tea with crossing guards this morning. So my wife's been a crossing guard of 13 years. And had lots of sugar at the bakery. I think it's wearing off. There we go. Let's see if it fires up now. Alright, going to push the power button down this end. That works. That sounds good. We have sound. Now let's go. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Oh, that is nasty. Test 1, 2. That audio circuit's pretty nasty. Alright. Test 1, 2. Test. Okay, so that is getting clear audio from the other end. This sounds pretty shit though. Alright, so the microphone is good. It's coming through alright. This speaker is pretty horrible. Might be the audio stage in this unit that's sounding pretty horrible. There might not be a lot I can do about that unless we can source another transmitter. Then I'd probably have to recomplete the mod. I've got to do some thinking. Okay, so new speaker is installed. I doubt the audio is going to get any better, but we'll try. I have a silly thought. Let's extend the antenna. See if that makes any difference. It could be an SWR problem, in which case a fully extended antenna would fix the problem. Let's try it out. This actually sounds considerably clearer with the antenna fully extended. I think that works well. So I've done one last little thing. I reattached this little bit. So for normal operation, the way these are meant to work, and this is not rotating very well, that might explain a lot. These are supposed to unscrew. Let's see why you know unscrew. There we go. So this might need a little bit of lubrication in here. That's supposed to come off, and then you're supposed to extend the antenna like that. That's how they're supposed to operate. And this little nub here is somewhere to put that little bit so you don't lose it. It threads back on that little nub over there. So this does need a bit of lubrication. I might hit this with some PTFE, see if it frees up. Okay, with a bit of lubrication it works better. Now we can extend antenna. This should come off and that little ring should slide off as we do it right. It will require a little bit of working in, but that's how that's meant to work. I think that's actually a metal cap. I don't think it's plastic. So anyway, that would definitely inhibit signal. Anyway, let's check the other one. Other one has seen less weather, I think. And this bit rotates better. So we are going to just a bit of that, a bit on that. There we go, and that should slide on nicely. There we go. That works much better. Oh, and that little hook's come off. I'll put that back on in a minute. Still, we're pretty much done. So we'll see you in the next one, and I hope you had fun.